somebody might get killed. Well, you love death so much. You love worshiping Satan. Well, let's have some of Satan's religion come in and shoot you.
Boy, the world is a scary, scary place, and we are very much reminded of it in this spooky month of October, when you only see Halloween and Christmas decorations on both sides of the aisle like it's going to be some sort of ungodly face-off, and we're waiting to see who the winner is going to be. My name is Zero for Hire from the 520 Collective podcast and YouTube channel, and this is our 7 crazy Christian culture stories of October 2023. So coming in at number 7, Kat Von D posts a video of baptism 1 year after renouncing witchcraft and the occult. So Kat Von D is this really famous tattoo artist from LA Inc., and she's been getting a lot of traction and stirring up a lot of buzz on Instagram, where she just recently posted a video of her baptism. So the story about it is that last year around this time in July, she gave up the occult and witchcraft. She says that, I don't know if many of you have been going through changes in your lives right now, but in the last few years, I've come to some pretty meaningful realizations. Many of them revolving around the fact that I got a lot of things wrong in my past. I think that's just one of the most beautiful instances of repentance. It's not absurd, it's not in your face. This is just her giving up interest in the macabre, in witchcraft, and in the occult. And I wish her all the best. I hope that God bestows many, many blessings on her life. You can go to her Instagram and watch the video of her baptism. And for those of you guys who are giving her a hard time, saying that she's doing this for clicks or more fame, I would like to know of literally any instance where somebody who's famous from the secular world became more famous by becoming a Christian. That's usually the cultural or career end of a story for a person. That means that they are getting kicked out of Hollywood, never to have another job again. So, first of all, the logic just doesn't apply there. But also, just like Richie the Barber from a few videos ago, I think it's really cool that people are making these videos of their baptism, because the baptism itself is supposed to be part of your profession of faith. It's you tying yourself publicly to the church, visibly, for everyone to see. And when you record and televise it like that, that's even adding an amplified megaphone to the statement that's already being made. I also like how she says that this was part of a divine commandment from Christ. It seems like she's got a pretty level-headed view about this. Again, I wish her all the best, God bless, and if you guys haven't been baptized yet or baptized your children, I think it's time you go out. Which, by the way, shout out to my son Z, who just got baptized. He's 12 years old, and I couldn't be more proud of him. And now, because everything is political, I've got to talk about anytime you log on to Twitter and you see the words Christian nationalism trending, you have to stop what you're doing and find out why. And this is why and how I was introduced to House Speaker Mike Johnson, a devout Christian who is now in a position of governmental authority. And that has people freaking out all over Twitter. Now, I mean, there's 2 levels to this thing. Well, on the one side, you have the atheists who are like,
Speaker Johnson is a white Christian nationalist, and it's gonna be Handmaid's Tale, and we're all gonna die.
I don't know, I don't understand their argument. They're just mad that a Christian is in that position.
Never heard of him, but he is, oh boy, do I like this guy. Super duper ooper Christian. I mean, super Christy. And
then there's the political side where you could have put Yogi Bear in the position, and they already had their articles written. It was just a plug and play, write the guy's name in, and it'd be like, oh, Yogi Bear is a MAGA Christian, I guess they all say white Christian nationalist now. And I don't get the whole white Christian thing. They say Christian nationalist like it's a bad thing, but then they throw the word white in front of it, and now it's just 2-tier flamethrower 3 Mile Island bad. I gotta pause for a minute. When I saw Christian nationalists trending again, I thought that Doug Wilson and Stephen Wolf and Cross Politics podcast were just doing their normal thing. And that's not at all what was happening. I was like, Mike who? And it's like, the Congress has elected a Speaker of the House. We're going to go with Mike. And like, come on, just admit it. Just like me, before Tuesday, you had no idea who this guy was. We all collectively said, Michael Jordan? And they said, no, we're going to go with Mike. And we were like, Tyson? No, not him either. We're going to go with Mike Johnson. And we were like, oh, who's that? And then we opened up Twitter and saw dozens and dozens of articles about how he's a racist Christian white nationalist with a adopted black son or whatever. Like, these articles are not real. They're plug and play. It's just fodder and opposition for, politics. That's all it is politics. What I bring this up for is because we have a Christian who is saying like real basic normal Christian things. And one, you should be paying attention to the things that people are saying about him in opposition, but you should also be listening to the things that he's saying, because nobody knows who this guy is. Like, nobody knows anything about this guy. They're launching an inquiry to find dirt on this guy because they don't know anything about him. Meanwhile, he's standing on stage saying things like this.
I don't believe there are any coincidences in a matter like this. I believe that Scripture, the Bible, is very clear that God is the one that raises up those in authority. He raised up each of you, all of us. And I believe that God has ordained and allowed each one of us to be brought here for this specific moment in this time.
Yeah, I know. Super bad, right? Moving on. All right, so for this one, this is going to be a little bit long and hopefully not too complicated. I'll try my best to simplify it. Maybe I won't go too far. There is a really popular Christian website, and for the sake of anonymity, we will call it, for the sake of anonymity, we'll call it Big Christian Rap Music Monster Website.com. It's a little long. Let's make it just website. So the website has this article where it says, the name of the article is Christian Hip Hop is Woke. Why are the anti-woke still sleeping? This is clearly marked as an op-ed, so please don't go after the website if you do find it. This is probably like an experimental thing. Not exactly sure how well it sticks, but the article comes out October 9th, and this is the lead paragraph. Christian hip-hop, CHH, is the biggest threat to evangelical anti-woke agenda. In what follows, I place voices from the CHH community in conversation with anti-woke evangelicals. I demonstrate that CHH identifies as woke, that it denounces anti-woke rhetoric, and I bring into question the ongoing silence of anti-woke voices in CHH. Now, right off the bat, I want to say that this is probably the best lead paragraph I've ever read. Usually, articles and journalists are getting really bad with burying the lead, but that's aside the point. This article goes on to talk about wokeness in hip-hop, wokeness in Christian hip-hop, and how it's become something of a value or a virtue among Christian rappers. And it takes this concept from ideas of songs and quotes by many Christian rappers, mostly guys from 116 like KB, Lecrae, Tadashi, other Christian rappers, and kind of hodgepodges all of these quotes together to make an argument against what it calls anti-woke rhetoric from Vodi Bakum and John MacArthur. Now, just in any circumstance in life, I'd pretty much make it a point not to be at odds with Vodi Bakum or John MacArthur. I mean, there is like the one thing that I tend to disagree with them about, and I try not, that's not a hill I'm going to die on, at least not in the same room with them. But in this article, he makes a lot of arguments going back and forth, using quotes from fault lines by Vodi Bakum, using quotes from rappers and interviews and YouTube videos. Surprisingly, the one thing missing from this entire article is quotes from the Bible. I mean, we go as far as to quote
Patheos blogs,
but not the Bible in this very intentional, art conversation. It kind of goes a little bit something like this.
Hey, we're a website, and we have all of the Christian rappers, or at least the popular guys, on our side.
And the evangelicals say,
yeah, but we are the evangelical pastors, and we have Vodi Bakum and John MacArthur and Big Eva.
Yeah, well, we've got Sho Barak, and he's a college professor.
Oh yeah? Well, we have D1, and he's a college professor.
Yeah, but we have Lecrae.
Okay, we have D1.
Okay. Well, Sho Barak said that Jesus died with his hands in the air in front of his mama.
Is that blasphemy?
The article kind of wraps up like, hey, so we've made all these points from all these people in the Christian hip-hop world. Why won't you answer to these criticisms that we've laid out before you? And then Vodi Bakkum's like,
I'm sorry, I can't hear you. I'm too busy building churches in Africa.
and John MacArthur's like,
I'm dealing with Gavin Newsom right now. I'm a little busy myself.
and Big Eva's like,
Hey, what's up, guys? I'm Big Eva.
and then everybody runs away to a giant festival, and there's just like a big giant Christian music festival, and all the teenagers are there, and they're happy. And then John Cooper's on stage for some reason, and he's like, Christian music sucks now. It used to be good, but now it sucks. And then Cephas has an album that's mostly like 70s music, but it's pretty good. I mean, the music's really good. I listen to it. And then Tyson James is there, and he's got like 1,000,000 guns for some reason. And then they all discover that the stage is made of pizza, and they have a giant pizza party. So, I mean, that's basically how the conversation goes. It's an article you can read, and I will leave a link somewhere, somehow. Maybe I'll run it through Bitly or something. But if you know, you know. Big Christian music website. Wait, hold on. What was it? Big Christian rap music website, monster.com. You know I love you. Just, not as much as Vodi Bakkum. John MacArthur, you're cool too, I guess. Big Eva, though. What's up, girl? You got my number. Call me.
Is there anything occultic or dangerous about Smurfs?
Well, there are some things about Smurfs that we need to look at. First of all, you'll notice that they're depicted as blue with black lips.
Well, isn't that interesting?
And you know what happens to you when you die? You turn blue and your lips turn black.
All right, and coming up at number 4, a Roman Catholic priest from the Czech Republic is under fire and apologizing for destroying a Halloween pumpkin display made by the children of the town because he believed it was satanic. And I know that's a really long sentence, but that's the only way I could get it out without laughing. I love his whole approach to the situation too. He was like, I'm leaving the rectory on Sunday evening, and I saw numerous symbols and of the Satanic Priest Halloween placed on the front of our sacred ground. And I'm guessing that he thought like maybe they were under attack or something. This whole thing seems like a clash of worldviews, because the priest says that he acted in according to his faith, and the duty of a father to protect the children. But then the kids were like, no, not like that, because apparently they really, they worked hard on their Halloween decorations. And that's why I say it's a clash of worldview. Now, if he's an old school priest, I kind of expect him to act like that. But in this, what they call heathen contemporary world, in opposition to, the priest also blasted the modern Halloween celebration as part of the heathen contemporary world, in opposition to the traditional Christian holiday of All Souls Day. Happy All Souls Day, by the way. Which also falls on October 31st. I thought that All Souls Day fell on November 1st, but I guess he would know better than I would. Anyways, so there's like 500 children in the city, in a town or the village or whatever, and they all just gathered around the priest and collectively cried at the same time until he apologized. So I don't know, man. Like, the kids weren't a fan of him smashing their pumpkins. I guess the priest actually is a Smashing Pumpkins fan. Get it? Smashing Pumpkin.
I think you understand what I'm saying.
Yeah.
Yes. No.
And hey, if you don't celebrate Halloween, that's fine. You're in good company. There's a lot of us who don't celebrate Halloween. I mean, these two stories bleed together. Because what's going on is, like I said, it's a clash of worldviews. There is also an article that came out recently where an ex-witch says it's okay for Christians to celebrate Halloween, but they should avoid the web of darkness that comes along with it. And so this is a little bit of a different take. This isn't, I don't know whose word you want to take more, the little kids, the priest, or the ex-witch, you can understand why it's a little bit confusing. The Christian Post interviewed 2 individuals who dabbled and explored in witchcraft to varying levels before they gave their lives to Jesus. And they share totally different perspectives on Halloween. One ex-witch says it's totally okay. Another ex-witch says it's not okay, and it's a dark observance. And then you have like Carol Karnacki having these like yearly lectures where she makes these emotional arguments and whips everybody up into a frenzy, and she's got like this fake black cat on her table for whatever reason, and it's just but some people Katie they want everyone to know that they don't celebrate Halloween. They stand on the top of a mountain and they scream it through a megaphone. They have idon'tcelebrate.halloween.com translated into 47 different languages so that you know when the government shutdown comes to your phone and they send that alert. Also attached to that message is a link to idon'tcelebrate.halloween.com, and there's KD's face with a big smile and a sultry, deep voice. Where was I going with this? So you know who else isn't celebrating Halloween? All of the children in the South Orange Maplewood district in New Jersey. So apparently the superintendent said that they were going to be withholding Halloween celebrations in school because it offends certain people's cultural and religious sensibilities. And this is a really good time to bring this up because we are now in the season of people having to ruin everything for everyone because of their cultural and religious sensibilities. I mean, just think about any time in your life when you were working retail and you said, "Merry Christmas, sir," and they were like, "I don't celebrate Christmas." I'm like, "Come on, keep the line moving. I'm really busy." Or you say, "Happy Holidays," and then you get like some overzealous Karen mom like, "It's Christmas," and it's just like, you can't make anybody happy. Every time you put a nativity scene up on the courthouse lawn, you got some angry atheist group there with like blowtorches to burn it all down. So it's just a whole... So anyways, the superintendent put out information saying that they were not going to be celebrating Halloween on school grounds during school hours. Now, if the teachers and the parents involved want to start some sort of student group and get together after school, they can do some sort of after school activity, after school hours, kind of like what they make Christians do every time we want to have a Bible book study or something. So welcome to the club, guys. There's snacks in the back. You made this bed, now you got to sleep in it. Now, sadly, it looks like we're losing another luminary in the Christian pastor celebrities sky of stars. International House of Prayer founder Mike Bickle accused of sexual misconduct by multiple women. So, earlier this month, we found out that Mike Bickle from the IHOP was accused of sexual immorality and multiple cases of it. And just on the side, like when I saw like people were mad about IHOP, I was just like, boy, people sure do take their pancakes seriously. And then I quickly realized this is not what they were talking about. The International House of Prayer in Kansas City says, "We are heartbroken to share that we've recently become aware of these serious allegations, including sexual immorality directed against Mike Bickle. Our leadership team takes these allegations seriously, and we are laboring for truth, light, redemption, and righteousness. We're engaging with outside parties to assess and arbitrate these allegations." So we'll have to keep an eye on this story. I know a lot of people hear this and they're like, I don't know if I really buy it. And there's some people that are really just quick to jump on and be like, yep, he definitely did something. All I know right now is that there are multiple allegations from multiple different people coming out. And we're just going to have to see where this one goes. Keep Mike Bickle and the IHOP and the victims, of course, in your prayers as soon as we, I guess, find out who they are. Pray that justice is served God's way, because God is the ultimate judge, and he's the only one righteous enough to judge. And then my last story, I already gave him flowers earlier, but D1 was on Sway in the Universe. I woke up to a link, and it was probably one of the most encouraging interviews I've ever heard. It's about an hour long, and I suggest you go watch it. He's talking about his new album coming up. He's talking about issues in the music industry, things that I've kind of alluded to and talked about a little bit, but really don't have the credibility to go deep into about. there's a lot happening in the music industry, but the things that D1 is bringing to this conversation just goes to show that there's a movement in the West. Yes, there are a lot of people leaving the church. Yes, there are a lot of atheists, but it seems like there are even more people who are waking up to the truth, who are finding Christ. We're hearing stories of Christophanies across the world. People are coming to the light and the truth of God's word. And that's encouraging. D1 also talks about his grandpa, who he helped make famous on social media just before he died. He talks about his confrontation with Lecrae and how that ended out, and he even caught Sway picking his boogers a couple of times and made fun of him.
He unfollowed me on Instagram, so that must mean his feelings was hurt, you know what I mean? And I guess I thought it was all good, but then afterwards I noticed, you know, he unfollowed me. But I could call him right now. It's just that, watch this. If we don't call people out by name, you know what happens, man, is you missed that, by the way.
Okay, damn, D. Nobody had to know that,
all right,
though.
All right.
But
Boogers and misses.
Yeah.
Boogers and misses.
Right.
This is righteous snitching happening right now. Snitching, my God.
Yo.
Yeah, if you got an extra hour and you really need some encouragement, I suggest that you sit down and listen to what D1 has to say. It's a very uplifting, powerful interview, and I really enjoyed it. That's our number one story. And that's all of our crazy Christian culture stories for the month of October. Which one is your favorite? Did you guys agree with our list? Did you have anything to add to the story? We'd love to hear you. And the best way to do that is by a subscription on our YouTube channel. We post videos all throughout the month. We'd love to hear from you, and we make a point to try to comment on things that aren't totally insane. But any conversation is welcome here on the page. I'm not sure if we're going to do this video next month. It all depends on you guys. We want to hear from you, but if we're not hearing from you, this is actually a lot of work for me. So if I continue it, I'm not sure if I want to continue it over the holiday season. There's a lot going on for me already. Let me know in the comment section if you think it's going to be worth our time. Maybe share the video and spread the word. And if we get our channel up past 1,000 followers, then, you know, we can come back and revisit whether or not we want to try to push this through the holidays. Anyway, that's it for me. My name's Zero for Hire for 520collective.com. I will talk to you guys when I talk to you. God bless and have a good night.